Railroad signals can be a mystery to rail fans. Now I've compiled a DVD that helps unlock the mystery. Learn what CSX signals mean, what they're telling train crews, and you. How to read CSX signals on the SEABOARD system is just $19.95 plus shipping, and available right now at railfandanny.com. Almost as much as the trains of today, I love the history of railroading in the South. For CSX fans, there's no better place to learn about that history than right here in the pages of Line South, the quarterly magazine from the Atlantic Coastline and Seaboard Airline Railroads Historical Society. To start your subscription, just go to aclsal.org. Awakening at the Crowne Plaza Hotel on the St. John's. CSX General Headquarters is right across the river. Right next to it, the giant FEC drawbridge. First stop for me on this Jax Railfan Saturday morning is always Dinsmore. This morning, Dinsmore is freezing, frost covering the grass. Dinsmore is where the CSX A-line comes into town, bringing traffic from the Northeast, the Carolinas, and Georgia. Dinsmore connection runs from the A-line over to the SCL Duval ramp, CSX's piggyback and container terminal in Jax. Duval has a connection on its south end to the Seaboard Tallahassee line. That Y is named Duval Connection. The first train of this Saturday morning is coming in on the north end at Dinsmore Connection. Q027, big container traffic from Bedford Park, Illinois, just outside of Chicago. Today's 027 is a monster with blocks of containers from all over the Midwest. While Q027 was still coming in, I heard Amtrak 53 on the scanner, clearing the junction at Callahan, 15 miles north of me on the A-line. The auto train is not a train you can usually chase and see twice in an outing. He runs authorized speed through much of the eastern seaboard. Fortunately, the track layout through Jacksonville's Beaver Street Junction is a gauntlet of crossovers, turnouts, and finally this near 90-degree turn at Dennis Street. Speed limit through Beaver Street and Duke's Crossing is 25. It's 15 right here through the Dennis Street turn. This big swing was likely made to avoid crossing the massive St. Johns River in downtown Jax. Built as the Jacksonville, Tampa, and Key West Railway, the railroad came out of downtown Jax and headed to the southwest, crossing at the shallower, narrower McGurts Creek. The JT and KW would have to bridge the St. Johns 2 more times before reaching its terminus at Sanford. This 2015 auto train will make all of those river crossings this morning on the last leg of its journey. After Dennis Street, I went over to the big Jacksonville Railfan Modelers and Collectors Show for a couple of hours, then grabbed a drive-through breakfast and headed back to the High Iron of Jacksonville. This is McQuaide Street. It's here where the main lines of the Atlantic Coastline, Seaboard Airline, now both CSX, and the Norfolk Southern and the FEC all link up. This job is coming down from NS's Simpson Yard, presumably doubling up to make a long transfer train to the FEC. 6 minutes pass, and here comes a CSX transfer job. I couldn't tell if he was coming off the Tallahassee line side from Duval or from the FEC. The containers and the well car markings make me think FEC. hits keep on coming. More intermodal traffic out of Duval Yard. This, I believe, is QO34, hot and heavy UPS traffic from Jacksonville to North Bergen, New Jersey. I like this train because it has truck trailers on flat cars. The intermodal industry is slowly phasing these out. 2 more minutes pass, and here came an empty coal train. I wasn't sure on the ID, but I guessed he was up from Orlando's Stanton Power Plant, hence the crew change here at McQuaide Street. Or possibly he was coming off the S-line from the Florida West Coast. The 2 AC-44s leading the ES-44DC didn't offer up any hints either. Plus, it was too cold and windy here to go back and check car markings or to even hang here any longer. I moved around back to the north end of the Jacksonville terminal at DINSMORE Connection. A power move was coming in from MONCRIEF and into Duval Intermodal Ramp, but instead of coming through the south leg, which would have been easier, he went high and backed onto the DINSMORE Y. The conductor on the platform was looking out ahead. The engineer was on the rear locomotive. That told me they were turning the consist. But again, I had no idea which way he was leaving out of Duval, and therefore no idea which engine was going to lead. It didn't matter, but it's fun to figure out this stuff. 15 minutes later, it was QO25 coming around the north leg and into Duval. 25 was arriving from Bedford Park, Illinois, a heavy industrial area at Chicago.
Wesley, nobody talking, just call you a zero.
Radio traffic down at the north end of MONCRIEF Yard caught my attention, so I moved south about 3 miles to Old Kings Road. 2 BNSF GEs were leading a train, apparently doubling out of the yard.
The yard ladder to C20, Bruce. MONCRIEF over. The yard ladder to C20 over. Yeah, nobody on the yard.
A power move with a UPGE AC44. I know it has more letters than that, but give me a break here. Then a UP EMD SD70M, a CSX GE ES40 DC, a CSX GE ES40 AH, and another CSX GE ES40 DC. On Sunday, I headed back home to Tampa with a stop at South Baldwin Yard. Q235 was coming through on its way south. Q235 is, or was, a Louisville, Kentucky to Tampa all-auto rack train. I think it's been cut back to Jack's Terminal now. Foreign power fans would be after that CEFX blue SD40M-2 in the lead. But for me, the catch was that CSX Standard Cab -8 trailing. To wrap up the day, I stopped at Loch Loosa, where Kinder Morgan's empty ethanol train, K476, was headed back north to Rose Lake, Illinois. Pretty nice ending to another great Jacksonville Railfan weekend. We'll see you there next February. This is Danny Harmon, out.